Hey guys, it's NedGYGO again here. Thanks for all the support, and just wanted to say, yeah, really excited about this upcoming season with Hecahands coming out and with continued support, and just looking forward to the ban list to get rid of, just a lot of pesky decks right now that have been around the format for a while. I just think Yu-Gi-Oh is slowly heading in the right direction. It's not getting there quite fast enough, as much as I would like it and other people would like it, but we're getting there. Is the point. Hand traps are a thing, right? Hand traps are fun, they're interactive and everything, but I have a feeling that Konami is slowly going towards getting rid of even hand traps such as this, like Ash Blossom, right? I think all these generic hand traps used to be good for the game, but they printed so many, and the game just has become something else entirely now. So yeah, anyways, this is my Chimera Fiendsmith Hecahands deck profile. Please enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. So to start off, speaking of hand traps, I know I was ranting a little bit there, but 3 hand traps that I do love in this deck are Ash Blossom, and you should love them in every deck that you play, along with Droll and Lockbird. This is one of those floodgate hand traps that, a lot of people really don't like. I don't know. It keeps a lot of combo decks in check. Maybe we don't need Droll in the format, but some might argue it's a necessary evil. So Droll may or may not ever go away. And then next up, Imperm. I don't think Imperm is ever going away. Imperm is one of the most fair cards, in my opinion, ever printed. It's a very good card, very solid. I don't think it's going out of my deck. And then to round out the 12 hand traps that I'm playing along with Tactics is Fua, right? Fua is insane. Fua basically, if you use Fua right, you're just getting so much advantage off of your opponent trying to make a board, and it makes everything way easier playing it too. So there's that. And then the Fiendsmith engine. So after a bit of thought about this and back and forth, this package is actually the most optimal for Fiendsmith, in my opinion, for this build, for a couple reasons. First reason, which I explained a little bit in the combo video that you will see in a second, you do need Fiends, and this is better than just playing 3 Engraver and 1 Tract, because obviously you need the Lurry to really do a ton of things and just get free value right off of the Lurry. But the Lacrima does come up because it is a level 4. Lacrima's interaction with Nightmare Apprentice and any level 6, light or dark, is really important for any Chaos Angel, right? So this is just extra value for having 3 Fiends that do a lot by themselves, and I think it's really important to have that package in there. And getting to that package, making it easier, is Necrom and Adjusted Gold, both just literally 2 cards that get you into Fiendsmith under Droll. Next up is 3 Chimera Fusion. We are on 3, back and forth between 2 and 3, but I think 3 is still correct, especially if you want to play under Droll consistently. You need to see the Fusion and a Fiend in hand as often as possible to make it as easy as possible. Next up, 2 Mirror Sword Knight. I actually, 3 I'd consider, but honestly, I'm not playing Cornfield Coatl in this build, and you might think this is crazy because it's always been played in Chimera, but the reason being is because Mirror Sword Knight is actually the much better Ash bait now that Hecahands doesn't have to commit to a normal summon. So like, it's okay if this is Ash or Fua bait. You're really just checking to see if your opponent has it. And it's like, whatever, like if they have it, then you probably have an Ash. If you don't have an Ash, whatever. But yeah, Mirror Sword Knight, really good bait, and it's a great starter. And it's going to be one of your only normal summons besides these 3, which is your Gazelle, right? So your normal summons are here. You have 5 normal summons in here, and that's all you're going to be worried about. So even if Mirror Sword Knight does get Ash, it's not like a huge deal because you weren't using your normal summon 10 anyways. All right, and then you want to get into Big Wing Baphomet. You only play 1. I've seen some lists play switch to 2, but you don't have to. I think 1's just fine. Nightmare Apprentice is the extender. This is the GOAT card of the deck. My favorite card in the main deck. So good. Adds basically any engine if you start with it. And then on to Hecahands. I'm going with 1 Yadel and 3 Ibtil. Reason for ratio. I'm really just bent on loving using Yadel for the 1 spell, which I'm playing, only 1 of, because you don't need more than that, in my opinion. I think the 1 spell is fine because you can search it, and Yadel can be searched through the Hecahands combo. So it's like, if you can just get to these 2 cards consistently anyways by using Hecahands, then it's fine. Also, this is a cool little Hecahands thing I pulled. It's a misprint. You can see the text on top. It did get misprinted up on the top of the text box there, which is pretty neat. Just a little something, So yeah, that's explaining the ratios there. You can do a lot with Hecahands. And then 1 Bruce, 2 Godos, 1 Gygus, and then the 2 traps. Yeah, 2 traps. Obviously, you want to play the 2. You can set them and search them and reset them. But honestly, really what I've noticed with this build is that the Hecahands stuff just helps you get more illusions in rotation, which more illusions in rotation means more attacks for this guy. So really, honestly, going second for Chimera, the game plan is to just like bait out as many interruptions as possible and then get to perform it and as many illusions as you can with Chimera Fusion. Like, you really, the name of the game going second is really just to get him on field and then have him attack 4 times or 3 times into 1 monster and win the game, right? That's the name of the game. That's what you want to do when you're playing the deck. So, but yeah, this is kind of the deck I've been messing around with my pink sleeves and all. It's at 40, I think 42, so still relatively low, and I think you can do a lot. You can play through a lot of interruptions. So the extra deck, we're playing Chaos Angel, High Wave King. SP is not part of the Fiendsmith engine, but I'm just going to show it anyways, right? Fiendsmith plus SP, you know, your standard Fiendsmith lineup, right? And then I was able to squeeze Desiree in here just because we're playing a slightly bigger Fiendsmith package. And then your Lacrima, your 2 Jowza for your Hecahands, your 1 Guardian Chimera, the 1 other Chimera, 1 Baphomet, and then the other Chimera, and then the Asmina. Yeah, we got 3 Chimeras, right? So this is what the list looks like as far as the extra deck goes. So pretty solid. I wouldn't change a ton about it. Let me see if I can reshuffle this really fast. Almost. I almost did it, guys. Yeah, so that's the extra deck. Let me go over the side deck really quick, just as we kind of flew through that one. So my side deck currently consists of 3 Parelia. Main reason for the Parelia is just covering anything that summons from hand a lot, like Yummy. It does slow them down a little bit. They can't just willy-nilly summon from hand. They got to think about their plays a little bit more. It leaves them open to more interruption and board breaking. And then 3 Bell. This is obviously for the Draco Tail matchup. It's really good going second and first. So 3 Bell, and then to cover any Malice stuff, the Chaos Hunters, right? And even like some random decks that just like to banish a lot, right? Just kind of helps do that, like even Psychics randomly. So there's Chaos Hunter, 1 Nib. I felt like if I was already playing 6 Charbies total, I can just get away with the 1 Nib in the side, punish those combo decks. You already know. And then going second, 2 Mind Control and 1 Change of Heart. Yes, this is an excuse to show off my shiny cards. No, I don't think this is something, as of now, I would bring to a YCS. Although, I'm still testing. In theory, these are my go-to sides for when I'm playing against Yummy. I know Dark Ruler is better than this at the moment, but I'm just doing some tests to see how I like going second with this, right? Because in theory, worst case, you're just forcing the Yummy to what can I think right now? The Synchro, the Omni Negate, right? The Fairy Omni Negate. I can't think of it right now. But you're targeting it and you're forcing it to just Omni Negate, right? Or at least worst case, you're taking control of it, right? Like, or sorry, that's best case. They don't do anything, but they're not going to let you do that. It baits out the Omni and they have to use it. So that's like best case scenario. And yeah, I mean, Dark Ruler kind of gets rid of their whole monsters on their board, but this is still pretty good. Especially like if you're getting locked with Christia, like Archlord Christia, and then you like activate Mind Control, oh my god. Or like Change of Heart, you just sack it or like attack into one of their creatures, you know? Could be pretty good. Having control of Christia until end phase, and just slapping something on it. And then Hidden Hecahands for going first, right? So improving consistency if you really want to see a Hecahands board going first. All right, guys, this is going to be your 2-card combo. This is going to be Gazelle, right? Or access to Gazelle and or Chimera Fusion. Really, you can kind of just skip steps depending on what hand you start with, but yeah, Gazelle plus an Illusion or a Fiend. So any 2 different types of these 3 work. So you're going to go ahead and start out by normal summoning your Gazelle. You're going to go Gazelle effect to search. Gazelle is going to let you search Chimera Fusion. With Chimera Fusion, you're going to go ahead and activate this. Use these 2 as material to fusion summon. Well, I get it here, Baphomet, right? So you're going to summon your Baphomet. as far as chain links go, you can't use Gazelle now because you are under Droll, assuming that they drolled you when you had Chimera Fusion. But you can go ahead and use Baphomet to Foolish Burial a Fiend, which you're going to Foolish Burial Evil Hero Sinister Necrom. Then you're going to go ahead and banish Necrom from graveyard to special summon out. It says specifically one evil hero monster from your hand or deck except itself. So you banish Necrom and you're going to special out Evil Hero Adjusted Gold. This is a light fiend, so you can use it as link material for a link 1 summon of Fiendsmith Requiem. You can go ahead and quick effect Fiendsmith Requiem to special summon from your deck. Your Fiendsmith Engraver. And now here's where things get maybe a little better with Lacrima, right? Because if you summon Lacrima, then you can Foolish Engraver to grave, and you can get a little fancier with your plays, but the gist of it is that you end up here. Now, at this point, Baphomet really isn't doing anything good for you. So, like, you can link him off, but before you do, use Chimera Fusion to add back to your hand, right? So you have Chimera Fusion in hand, you have 2 level 6 fiends, light fiends. I think you know where this is going. However, you know, you can do a multitude of things if you weren't under Droll, but because you are under Droll, you can do a couple different things. So first thing you can do is you can just have your end board, end on just High Wave King Caesar, right? And then just put him there. So you'll have High Wave King Caesar, which is 2 interruptions. Instead of doing that, you could also do something like this, where you link both of these guys off for your link 2 into sequence, and then you can use your sequence to fusion summon using these 2 as material, 2 light fiends, right? To special summon Fiendsmith's Lacrima, and then Lacrima special summons back Engraver, and then that's when you can overlay for the same thing and just get an extra body out of it. So you get 2 extra bodies. So essentially what I'm trying to tell you guys here is if you go for this line, you can use both of these bodies after, if this guy's been impermed, you do still have an interruption. So in total, if they've drolled you and nothing else, you can get to 2 summon negates, 2 pops, and a draw. Because what you do is with one of the other 3 cards you have in your hand, you just use Chimera Fusion, go into Guardian Chimera, using these 2 as material. If something happens to High Wave King or whenever he's done, and then 1 from your hand, you pop 2 cards in their field and draw 1 card. So, whoops, sorry about that. Chimera Fusion, very good. And that's my go-to line through Droll. All right, guys, this is I guess this is another like 1 card combo, but I'm just going to be showing scenarios here. Instead of like a go-to combo because you have different starters in this deck, I'm just going to show what happens when you get Fluid, right? So like, let's just, for example, say you go normal Gazelle effect, right? Gazelle effect will be able to search you either of these 2, but for example's sake, let's just say we search Chimera Fusion and we have, I don't know, we technically do need a Fiend in order to use the effect. So, where are you? Let's just say it's Necrom, for example. I know it's like best case scenario, this would be really good. But let's say we don't get drolled here. And we activate Chimera Fusion to fusion summon. They chain Fua. We say that's fine. I don't have an Ash to counter it. Whatever. So they're going to get a draw after this. But the idea is that that draw is going to be sent. So they'll still -1 after using it because you need a Beast and a Fiend for this. So you go ahead and summon Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, and then you can start triggering stuff, right? You go Chainlink 1 here to search, Chainlink 2 to rip from their hand during the end phase, right? So with Mythical Claws, you are going to end up searching one of your Nightmare Apprentices, and then this resolves during end phase, right? So you have Nightmare Apprentice, you can add back Chimera Fusion, and then if you have Necrom in this case, you can banish him and do fun stuff, but you're under Fua, right? So in order to not give them any draws, you are going to special and discard one of your other cards from hand. Use Nightmare Apprentice effect to search for an illusion monster. What I like to do here is I like to search Yadel, and then I go Yadel effect, reveal it, add a Hecahands spell trap, right? I like to add the hidden Hecahands, and then I use the hidden Hecahands, and I send Nightmare Apprentice to the graveyard, which lets me add and set. So what I do here, is I can get a brick out of my hand. I can get any like the Hecahand spell or traps, but all I need for that is a monster. So most of the time I'll end up going for like a spell trap negate because fusion's right. Depends on the matchup, but most of the time it'll be Yodel. And then I'll search for, where's the doohickey? The hand rip, Breus, right? So I'll go for Breus. Now, there's a specific reason why I go for Breus, right? So I set Hecahands. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger the spell that I just searched, right? I trigger this, they draw one, discard one. Now the draw could help them, I get it, but you are in Nafua, and you're trying to just, you know, reduce their hand size no matter the cost here. So you're going to go Fua, and then they'll trigger this, or not Fua, you're going to trigger the hidden Hecahands, that'll trigger this summon, and then you're going to use the ability to randomly look at their hand. Now, if it does end up being a monster or like a hand trap, great. You're not going to end up using it for infusion material because you're trying to get rid of their draws. So even if you special to their field, don't fusion summon it off. Just use it as a body, right? Your idea is to use it for Chimera the following turn. So what you're going to end up having is, let's say you do successfully rip a card from their hand. They've used Fua. They've gotten one draw, so they have 5 cards in hand. End phase, after you've just ripped, now they have 4. End phase, this rips another one, so they have 3 cards in hand. So what you're stacking up to here is if you do get Fua'd and you start with a Gazelle, what happens is you've got a, You've got a spell trap, counter trap that steals also because you have Hecahands. So you have this. You've got, they've got 3 cards in hand. You've got Chimera Fusion, which is a, assuming you're going to use a card from your hand, depending on how many you want to use from field. You got 2 draws and 1 pop, or 2 pops, 1 draw. So pretty good. You're already outmatching what they have in their hand. This isn't assuming that you have a hand trap. So I actually prefer, because of this, the way this turns out, 9 times out of 10, if they fool me, I would prefer they fool me. Like, I actually love it when they fool me, because if I can get to this Beast and Fiend, like, board after they fool me, I'm like, sick, cool. Now they fooled me, and I can get them down to three cards left in their hand, which is great for me. So yeah, that's my go-to, and I think it's really good in Nafua. Droll's the only one you got to be careful about, because, you know, depending on your hands, sometimes it can get a little shaky, and you kind of have to pivot to Fiendsmith with Droll specifically, and just kind of hope, you know, your first search is for Chimera Fusion, right? But yeah, that's my go-to, and it's very advantageous against Fua.